today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
There was a lot going on this week in 808 of the Rookie, and we're breaking it all down in this episode of Shop Talk. We had everything from Chenford angst to Oscar and Nolan angst, a, another Garza appearance, and Harpez working together again. So we have a little bit of news that we'll talk about, and then we'll just get right into the episode. Do you want to take us through the 810 description?
Yeah, so we have for 810, it's titled His Name Was Martin. Um, the description reads that Nolan, Harper, and Miles face a dangerous situation when a routine check takes a sudden turn. Meanwhile, Bailey conducts a covert investigation at the Pentagon at the request of Lieutenant Gray, and that'll air March 9th. So, sounds interesting.
I think this is the episode where a lot of people are like, oh, it's really going to affect Lucy and stuff. I don't
Oh,
know though, because it was talked about for like 8082 or something. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah. And then Variety also shared that next week's episode will feature the cast of hashtag Game Changer, a competition series from an indie comedy platform called Dropout, formerly College Humor, and Nolan encounters a familiar face at the Dropout TV studios. So there's a little bit more backstory on next week's episode. I mean, of course, we saw the promo and everything, so that'll be interesting. I'm excited to see Nolan and Selena writing together again and
Yeah.
Harper finding out that she's like gonna be Miles TO was hilarious. Like
Right.
both of them really just finding out that the switch happened was so funny. At this point,
Yeah.
Miles has had three TOs. That's a
Oh
new
my God, he
record.
has.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a new
Crazy.
record. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's wild.
yeah. I know because they only have like a 10-month rookie period, right?
Yeah,
So for the fact that he has all like he's gonna be on his third TO is crazy.
crazy. Well, and he has that 6 month extension
Oh
now
yeah, that's
too. So
true.
it's like,
That's true.
will Nyla be there for all of it, or will, like Nolan go back into the rotation
Yeah.
or Tim at some point or what? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Also, I feel like, I mean, this whole Nyla thing could only be one episode, but they've dragged this whole storyline on through the whole season, which I really appreciate. And I'm curious to see like if she will be his TO for more than just one episode or if it'll be just this one episode. And they kept it undercover pretty well. Like, I mean, I'm sure that they will put out TikToks and stuff of like Makia back in uniform and working with Miles, but like I feel like they kind of kept it under wraps pretty well. Like even
Hmm.
just other behind the scenes pictures and stuff. So of
Yeah,
Makia like not being in uniform.
yeah. I just like want Glasser to get back already, like
Yeah.
on screen. Like it's so odd for me to like hear them mention him and then like he's like not actually the central focus of the episode,
Yeah.
like this week or last week, which is like fine, I get it, but it's like usually when they mention people, then they come in
Yeah.
like, that episode or the episode after.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I know he was on previously, but just like obviously they're alluding to his return, but it's like I just I would like it to happen sooner rather than later,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
guess.
So
But
that's about it for the news. So we can just jump right into the episode. Take it away with the Nolan Garza stuff.
yeah, so it starts off the episode. We just see Nolan waiting by an aircraft, and it's like oddly quiet. Like I was like, what is going on right now? All you can hear is the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a car pulls up, Garza gets out, and he's explaining the situation as to why Nolan's there. And it's for a prisoner transport. There are six dangerous criminals coming aboard. And then they get introduced. That was one of the not quite sneak peeks, but just the rookie Instagram account like broke down who the prisoners were. So there was Geraldine, who's like this out of control girl, thanks to her brain now malfunctioning since she got rebarb through it. Um, Captain Cannibal, his name is obvious, unfortunately. And then there was a like a man named Oren Joke,
Hmm.
and he was Saudi national. Um, and then there was Keith Everett, who apparently doesn't have any like nice nickname, um, who we'll hear about more later. He was like the rich dude that was charged with using mercenaries and like war crimes and things, and so obviously very dangerous. Um, a person by the nickname of Bozak, who's like another very dangerous, like violent criminal, and of course, Oscar Hutchinson is back. Um, as the U.S. Marshal Kip Wilcox points out, because Oscar's like arrives late, being the last one, because they were like ready to go with those five, and then he was like, "Nope, just kidding. We're waiting on one more." And Nolan's basically like, "What the fuck? You've got to be kidding me!"
I love how the guy
Um,
was like Oscar something, but yet
right,
he like pronounced everyone else's names fine. It's probably
yeah,
just because he was added to the list like last minute, but still, it
yeah,
was like, okay.
yeah. I mean, can't blame Nolan, because literally one of the first things Oscar says while getting like from the car to the aircraft is like, he doesn't know what's like more embarrassing, like him being caught, like while he's out trying to escape from last season's finale, um, or the fact that John, was not able to like catch him again. So yeah. Um, so that's fun for Nolan. Um, we see on the aircraft that Geraldine's very talkative, wondering about Nolan and his feud with Oscar. And then we see like Everett and Oren get into a verbal altercation. Um, and Geraldine asks Captain Cannibal if he's ever actually eaten anyone. Yes, he has. Apparently, parts of multiple people. Ew. Like,
Gross.
did not need to know that.
And we saw some of it.
I know.
Like,
Really didn't
no.
need that either.
No. You know, when Geraldine was talking to Oscar about his like relationship, for lack of a better word, with John, I was like,
Right.
this girl would love to hear Daddy Cop. Like she would get so down with it, especially if it was
Yeah.
like, like John was there, obviously like John would have to be there and like she would have to witness it, but
Right. Well, because she
you
was
know,
like,
it
he
up.
like, yeah, because she was like, he's dreamy. I'm like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, just stop. This girl is like too much,
Yeah. Yeah.
like too much all around. But just, I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Um, yeah. So, um, Garza ends up hearing something in the front of the plane, so he goes to check it out. He finds the like co-pilot slumped over because they've been drugged apparently. The plane's captain is acting suspicious, and Garza wonders why he wants to land so badly. And he's freaking out, saying, it's because pilot's down. I need to land. It's his plane or whatever. Like he calls the shots, and Garza's like, no, not really, because we have like 30 minutes till we, get to um, LAX from Vegas. So, and they have criminals on board, so they're not landing. Um, and so apparently Everett's hooks go deeper than anyone thought, and he got some people to kidnap this guy's family. So he has to like compromise this flight by landing to get back to Bakersfield. Um, and he then like has a gun, points it at Garza out of desperation. Thankfully, Garza was able to get him to like calm back down. Um, and then ends up calling Gray to extract the family. And so Gray, gets the lowdown, says, okay, he'll have Tim, help coordinate with SWAT, and he knows that Tim will keep it on the DL. So, like, that's why he's telling him. Um, and then we see SWAT successfully retrieve the family from Everett's people. So, all is good with that, you would think. So, it's like, yay, problem solved. Just kidding. No, because to make matters worse, Kip, the marshal from earlier, who said he was going to take the gun from Garza and put it away in the lockbox, turned out to be dirty and was working with Everett to help free him. And so there's a shootout that occurs, and an officer and one of the prisoners are killed. And shootouts happening, planes going down, and Everett was just going to be like, peace out, like he's gone. But Oscar's big idea is to set the other prisoners free to create even more chaos surrounding his escape. So he frames it as if he's got like less of a chance of being caught, quote unquote. But really, it's just for Oscar's own benefit, so he doesn't get caught.
I mean, it made sense for sure, but I was like, of course Oscar is gonna suggest this. Like, no one else is going to. It's gonna be Oscar.
Right.
But I mean, it made
Yeah.
sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Oscar has escaped prison custody yet again. And I was just like getting all sorts of deja vu from the first time we saw him,
Hmm.
which I don't know if that was like intentional or not. Just the fact that they had to like hunt down prisoners again.
There were a lot of callbacks this episode, like a lot. And I was kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, that's really interesting, but it makes sense. They're bringing back villain from season 2. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
even when he said Chaos Agent, I was like, wait, I've heard that before. And I looked and it was a season 7 episode title, which like might not mean anything, but I was just kind of like, okay, that's interesting that that was brought up.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, Oscar's on the run, along with Geraldine, Bozak, Captain Cannibal, and Everett. So the team has to divide and conquer to track them down. Per Sergeant Lucy Chen's instructions, which was cool to like see her,
mhm.
like take charge and everything of the situation. So she and Selena will find Geraldine. Uh, Tim insists on going with Nolan to keep an eye on him. They'll track down Captain Cannibal and Oscar because like Nolan's insisting that he's the one to get Oscar back into custody.
I think it's interesting that they took 2
Mm-hmm.
prisoners and like no one said anything. Like Oscar alone is enough, but like you had said, they could have been together. So
Yeah, yeah. And so Nyla and Angela will find Bozak since Angela has an inside contact apparently. And then Garza and Gray pair up too to get info on Everett and hopefully track him down as well. So you then see snippets of each duo trying to locate these prisoners. Um, Geraldine steals a sweatshirt from a live streaming influencer after ditching her prison uniform, and Selena sees it like online and alerts Lucy to the food truck that they're by in the video. So they locate that and they, think that they have located Geraldine, but she manages to hide away. So it kind of, I guess, like we see snippets. So it cuts over. We have Tim and Nolan driving. Oscar apparently has cut his tracking device off, as did Cannibal. So the two might be together, Nolan thinks. And sure enough, dispatch radios Brolin that 2 males have ditched their orange jumpsuits to steal clothes, and they make a run for it, forcing Brolin to make a choice between getting Oscar from behind a locked gate or stopping Captain Cannibal, who went into a church across the street. So, reluctantly, Nolan leaves Oscar to go with Tim to catch Captain Cannibal in the gruesome act, nonetheless, which, again, why? Really
yeah,
didn't need to see that.
yeah,
I mean, it could have been way worse, but I was just like, when he was like, like getting in when they got him into custody and he was like up against the mirror, I was like, the chewing, like stop, make it stop.
Yeah.
It was so gross.
I mean, we didn't need to see all of what we did see. Like, even if it was just a snippet of like him, like biting into someone's arm, whatever, that would have
Yeah,
been
just
better than what we did see. Like, we know what cannibal means. We know like what
yeah,
he's, in prison for. Like, we don't need to actually see it.
yeah.
It's just-
It's
yeah.
just like not even like the so much see, at least for me anyway. I guess I should just speak for myself, but just like the hearing
Mm-hmm.
it, ugh,
Yeah.
like no, thank you. Um, yeah, I was like not prepared for that. Although I guess I should have been when the rookie IG account was like, the one guy, being named Captain Cannibal should be enough to terrify me for, this week's episode or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like didn't give it that much merit.
Yeah.
It was like, ew, just mm-mm.
I also love how Oscar put himself between like behind the fence and Nolan like runs up and he's like, "Oh shit, it's locked." Like, yeah, and you don't
Right.
try to climb that nothing, like try to break it down nothing.
Yeah, you would think. Of course, I mean, he was like, we're gonna get that gate unlocked, in like 10 minutes, and then we'll, put you in cuffs or whatever. And,
Yeah.
it's like Oscar's just going on about how, it's like his, he's lucky right now, and John is very unlucky in this situation, and just kind of like makes a point to kind of rub it in his face. And it's like, okay, of course
Yeah.
he's gonna be the one that gets away
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. And he was
So
like, "Oh, it won't be, easy for Everett to get caught. Everyone
mhm.
gets caught except for Nolan." Like, spoiler alert, or not Nolan, Oscar.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert, but like that that truly just worked out in Oscar's favor.
it
So,
really did. And so then it cuts back. Um, we have Angela's contact came through, and while most of Bozak's crew is down for the count, there's one warehouse nearby. So Angela and Nyla go to search there. And as they're like stopped, he jumps out and attacks them inside the shop, but they fight back and get him into custody as well. Um, there was like use of the body cams and shop cams throughout this episode that was like cool to see. And it was like cool to just see them be all badass. And then like at the
yeah.
end, they just did the little fist bump thing that they
Yeah.
do. And I was like, yes, you go, guys.
Yeah. I love how like they like kicked ass and took names. And then at the end
Right.
they were just like, "We don't need to say anything. Let's just fist bump and we're done." Like
Yeah.
literally everyone got their prisoners except for Nolan. Like we don't
Yeah.
see any kind of group conversation after that. It's
Yeah.
just like everyone knows that Oscar is still on the loose. I'm like, damn, I would
Yeah.
have loved to see like Nyla hazing John or like Angela saying something and just like pissing John off about
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, I guess, like, at the end, they kind of mentioned it a little bit of, like, except for Oscar, being the one to escape. But it's like, I just know that there's, like, a mental tally going on.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they're keeping score. Like, they gotta
yeah,
be. Um,
definitely.
yeah. And John is definitely unlucky this episode.
Yeah,
Um, then it cuts to Selena and Lucy finally finding Geraldine on a playground, and they quietly approach the young kids that she's with and ask them if they want to go get ice cream. Geraldine does too, but Lucy says she can't come if she still has the knife that she's like building a sandcastle with in the sandbox. And so like they kind of lead the kids away, and Geraldine drops the knife, uh, and for a split second tries to get it again, but Lucy and Selena arrest her as well. So, and she just like cracked me up though, because she was still thinking about the ice cream. I was like,
yeah,
girl, like me too, but also I'm not a criminal. So
yeah.
calm down.
Her
That like
frontal
cannot
lobe
be.
was like not fully formed, but it could have had something to do with that injury too.
I
So
mean, yeah, there's brain injury. Yeah, loses all sense of
Yeah. Because then she
self-control
was like,
and
oh man. And I'm like, yeah, of course you're gonna get caught. You're live streaming. Like you're live
yeah,
on Clip Talk. Of course you're gonna get caught.
yeah, yeah. So, another prisoner in custody. Then we see Garza and Gray driving. Garza is like beating himself up about losing control of the airborne mission, but Gray, tells him like, that's not all on him. Like, we just have to focus on, getting this guy now. But Garza's like worried about, if they don't get this guy now, then like, he could, it could like affect the, mission the next day, or like, it could like just affect the future for like in terms of FBI missions and things.
Mhm.
Um, so they focus on tracking Everett's location. Garza calls Elena for help via phone, and they do end up finding him. They use some kind of, I don't really even know what it is, like sound device. They're like wearing headphones though, so they don't get affected by it. But it's like, this just alarming, jarring sound that makes everyone kind of just like stop, hold their ears in pain, basically. And so they're able to get Everett's like crew out from the um, warehouse or building that they were in. Um, Tim is the one that actually manages to get Everett before he can escape, but not before his body cam is turned off by Everett, who then makes him an offer of $10 million to let him go. And Tim denies it, saying that he's a simple guy, his integrity is priceless, and like walking Everett back, I'm assuming, to the shop. Um, when Everett, basically tells Tim this will come back to haunt him. So that's some interesting foreshadowing. Not really sure I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I feel
But
like he's gonna be like the next big victim, or not victim, villain in some way.
yeah.
But I don't know
Um,
because we still have Monica too, but they can have like three or four villains at the same time.
right.
So,
Yeah. So everyone's caught except for Oscar, of course, who at the end of the episode, Nolan gets a call from, and Oscar tells him that he's in the trunk of a car. Why? No one really knows. Um, Nolan hoped that he'd be in hell instead, so I thought that was like rather like a funny thing for Nolan to say because it seemed like he gave it a
mhm.
lot of thought as to where Oscar should go
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah.
Um, and Oscar starts on this like long-winded rant about freedom and like all these, like things that he, wants to do and plans and stuff and how important it is. And John hangs up the phone, basically like seething a bit over it. And now we're all left wondering, like, well, at least I was left wondering, whose car is that? Why? For,
Mhm.
what reason? Where's he going? Like, what is going on?
It,
Um,
it's got to be Monica's car, right?
I mean, well, yeah, because they have worked together before. Because like he was talking, well, not talking to someone, but like at someone
Hmm.
about like when the car like hit a bump or something, or like stopped for a split second
Yeah.
when he was on the phone with John. So like I don't know if that was supposed to allude to Monica, or like, we're supposed to assume that.
It might not even be like her actually driving it, but it's I would think that they're like in cahoots. Because this was with the FBI task force too, and she's been like working with them. So
It's
I don't know.
true.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
But
probably a good guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
So next we have Chenford and Tim's mom. And, they're being all cute in the morning, getting ready to go to work. Lucy's like, we should stop taking Kojo to doggy daycare. Tim's like, we can't. He will tear up everything. He ate my last PlayStation. And Tim gets a text message from Jenny that just says, I'm sorry. And then his mom is at the door. She was gonna stay with Jenny, but she was worried that Tim would feel left out, and so she was like, well, I'll go stay with him. She doesn't know who Lucy is, but assumes that, she's one of Tim's coworkers, which I understand how she could assume that, but like also she could just be like a teacher or something. Like, I don't know. It was kind of a bold assumption. And he's just looking stressed out. And so he tells her that they're dating. She goes to get her luggage, and Chenford has a quick discussion about this, and Lucy's like, I don't talk to my parents at all, but I would drop a line. I dropped a line to them that I moved in with someone. I thought it was interesting how she said someone. Like, are we supposed to infer that her parents don't know about Tim either?
Oh, I thought that meant I thought that meant that she had told them.
She told them that she moved in with someone. Like, I'm assuming moved out of the apartment and in with someone else. Like,
Oh,
they
but
need
just like
her new
not
address. But she didn't
but
say my
not.
boyfriend Tim. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it was just like she just, I don't know, because she like also paused kind of before she said someone.
I didn't even notice.
So I was like, okay, is she just like using it as a scenario, or is she like, did she not tell her parents about Tim either? Because I would think that her parents, her mom at least, would have like, a huge issue with her dating Tim for some
Well,
reason.
yeah.
I just
Well,
like,
I mean, considering their past interactions haven't been all that great.
yeah, I just feel like it would
So,
be like they already didn't really want her to be a cop. So I would think that like her then dating her like a sergeant watch commander would be like blasphemy to them. So,
yeah.
um, so Tim was like, I'm just gonna tell her, just hasn't gotten around to it. And Lucy's like, it's been 3 years since we started dating. And he's like, yeah, but we broke up and I didn't want to upset my mom. And he like goes into all these excuses. And I'm like, hold up, 3 years? And they're just moving in together. Granted, this rookie timeline is messed up. Messed up.
I know. I was
Like,
like 3 years, but then I like got to thinking though, like
yeah,
3 seasons ago, technically speaking, like
technically, yeah.
508 was, when they discovered their feelings for each other and,
Yeah.
like wanted to go out and stuff. Um, but then I was like, wow, that was 3 seasons ago, but yet it seems like it's been like, I don't know, 5 years or something, like in
Yeah.
actual time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, and they had the breakup, but like, okay, does that count? I don't know. Eric was on the Tommy Daddario podcast last week or something, and he was talking about how like Chenford's like Ross and Rachel from Friends. And I saw people online being like, they're not though, because Ross was very much we were on a break and I'm gonna go sleep with someone else. And Tim didn't.
I
Like Tim
see.
worked on
That's
himself.
very true.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're not Ross and Rachel at all.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah. I guess I just assumed because they did like break up, get back together, break up, get back together.
Yeah.
But I kind of forgot. I don't know how I could forget about that iconic line from Friends,
Yeah.
but I wasn't putting that together.
Yeah. Now Lopez is Monica and Chandler. They are. They are. They are. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I was like, okay, wait. So it's been 3 years. I saw someone else say, okay, so then Emmy Evers is three. I'm like, yeah, and Jack is like five, but yet Penn is still a rookie.
Oh God.
So I don't know. This whole
I
timeline is
can't.
weird.
That's so confusing.
I need the rookie like writers or someone to like retcon some things to like help make it a little bit easier or like not time jump, but I don't know, just like clear the air with it because
I'm
it
just
is
surprised that like
confusing.
someone hasn't made an actual like how we like used to make like timelines in school, had to like draw them
Yeah,
out. I'm literally
yeah,
surprised someone hasn't like made a like a digital one and
I
tried to
know.
map out everything.
It's because it would be like 20 slides on Instagram, if
Yeah,
not
one like I
longer.
don't even know like because like there was that I mean, like, since Chenford's like moved in together, obviously it's like people are wondering if they're, gonna get engaged or, have kids or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, I don't even think I remember how old Lucy is when she, if she ever actually like froze her eggs like she said she was going to possibly do from like 4 seasons ago.
I think she
Or
said she was gonna call her mom and like discuss the possibilities.
if so, I'm like, where's any of that? Like, how does that fit into the timeline? Like, what is
Yeah. Yeah,
what is going on?
because according to those hospital bracelets that they wore in the Valentine's Day episode, I think Lucy and Tim are like 10 years apart or something.
Yeah,
But like the birthdays are weird, the years are also weird. Like I don't know, things are weird with the rookie timeline.
yeah.
And I need someone to fix it, if it can even be fixed at this point, because I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
who
been so
knows?
much that's changed. I mean, like, okay, Leah's what, like 3 or 4? Because I think she's in
Yeah.
between Jack and Emmy. So, okay, but like we've also never seen Emmy Evers. So, like, for all we know, she'd be like 5 and we would never even know. And Jack's like older. I don't know. It was crazy.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Because then Titus also posted a video. I guess he was like doing a podcast or whatever and talking about like what he gets recognized the most for. And he was like, people still bring up the rookie, and I've been off the show for like 5 years or something now. And I'm like, it was 4 or 5. I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Really
been
was
that
five.
long.
Yeah, 5 years.
But yeah. So,
Well,
so
will be
anyway,
5, I guess. But yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, Chenford's pulling into the parking lot. The car ride was not fun for them. Lucy mentions that Tim calls his mom every other weekend and she can't believe how she hasn't come up in the conversation. And he's like, "We don't talk about personal things." So, what do you talk about then? Like that
Um,
phone conversation can't be very long.
Sports, the
The
weather.
weather?
I don't know.
Like, because I doubt he's telling her about stuff that happened at work.
Probably, I wouldn't think so.
I mean, I don't know, just crazy. So Lucy questions if Mama Bradford knows about Tim and Isabel's divorce, and he's like, "Yeah, she just doesn't know all the details of it." Turns out, like she does not know any single detail of why they divorced, what happened with Isabel, nothing. He is clearly so stressed, like it's written all over his face. He just cannot handle this conversation anymore. So he gets a call from Gray telling him about the task force and he needs all the extra support and all that. And Tim like kind of looks down like before he answers the call and Lucy's like, You got to answer it, like go for it." Um and so Lucy just like walks in behind him like into the station just looking so defeated and bothered. Um and so as Chenford and Selena are walking out of the station, he's briefing them like on the case and everything, and Lucy quips back with, "I'll just supervise all of Mid Wilshire while you play action hero," in like a tension-filled monotone way. And I'm just like, yeah, she's not happy. She's not happy. So Selena covers for her, saying that they're happy to help in any way that they can. And Tim was just like, yeah, I know what you meant. Like the tension is just so thick with them.
Yeah.
Poor Selena's caught in the middle.
Yep. Awkward.
Yeah. So we see everyone turn on their dash cams. I love when this happens. Like
Oh,
it,
that's what they're called, dash cams. I think I tweeted shop cams.
well, I mean, the same, the same. They did engage in some shop talk though. So
Technically speaking, yes. Clearly.
yeah, yeah.
Love that.
Um, I thought for sure that they were going to talk over the radio, like switch to a different channel or whatever. No, they just chatted on the phone, which is still fine. But
Yeah.
But yeah, so Selena asks if she sensed a little tension with Chenford, and Lucy tells them about their morning, and so she's like, "Mom Bradford doesn't even know about Tim's divorce," and so Selena mentions that they've established his poor communication skills, and Lucy's like, "Yeah, but how do you keep so many secrets from your family?" And Selena's like, "Well, my mom knows a very curated version of my life," and Lucy's like, Curated? Yeah, the one time that you got hijacked on the bus, you bought every copy of the LA Times within 5 miles of your house, of her house, and then interrupted her internet service. Selena's like, that's different though. Like, I didn't want her to worry. And Selena proposes the idea that maybe Tim was saving Lucy from his mom in case she was a nightmare like Nolan's. And for me, I was like, all of the callbacks. Like, we've just had multiple callbacks in this one scene.
Yeah.
Um, and so Lucy isn't exactly sure how Tim's mom is. And Selena's like, well, call Lopez. They're BFFs. And I'm like, I love that everyone clocks that. Like, it's
Yeah.
so perfect. So we see the call. Angela doesn't know much. She's met her like maybe twice and wonders why the question. I love how Selena fills them in on the situation. Like Lucy's just like, I can't do that. Nyla's like, yeah, that's weird. Um, and so Lucy's like, I'm tempted to just call Mama Bradford myself and find out why Tim's not telling her about different things. And Nyla's like, don't do that. It's never good to get between a man and his mom. She's like, I tried that with Donovan and his mom, like, and almost got divorced for it. And Selena's like, you did get divorced, so didn't you? And Nyla's like, oh, but that was for a different reason.
Yeah.
Selena's just like trying to play catch up on like all this like lore.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, girl, like Tim was married before and divorced. Nyla's been married before and divorced. Like Angela and Wesley met and then Wesley got stabbed. Like, come on, you've got all this catch up to do. So
Yeah. I loved how Makia delivered that like couple
yeah,
lines though.
yeah.
It was great.
So Angela's like family drama is tough, but we all know empires will rise and fall in the time that it takes Tim to handle it. One thing about Angela Lopez is she's always going to call him out on his BS, either to his face or not. She's always going to call him out. And like that's so iconic of her, really.
Yeah.
So Selena and Angela are obviously in the camp of talking to Mama Bradford, but Nyla's against it, telling Lucy, they just like to meddle. And I'm like, okay, but they are the ones that got Chenford back together. So maybe they have a knack for meddling, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so Lucy and Selena get a call about reckless driving, and when they ask for more information, they're only told that this driver is only making left turns, which is confusing. So they find out where he is and park in the middle of the street. And I love how Selena was like, "Are you sure that this is gonna work?" And Lucy's like, "Have a little bit of faith with it." So an 18-year-old pulls up in a green Lamborghini that he's like, yeah, I just bought this. And he looks very young. And they say that, but they're like, he's like, that's ageism. I'm 18. But he doesn't have a driver's license. He's just got a permit. Hasn't even taken a driving lesson yet. So that's interesting. Um, and makes me wonder how he got the car because they need like your license and like insurance and proof of like that you can drive. And like,
Maybe since it's like Bitcoin, since it's all like digital or like internet, if it like
yeah,
just gets transferred and then they're, the heat, maybe he like paid him extra to like not,
yeah, I don't
look
know.
the other way or whatever.
So weird.
I don't
So
know, but
weird.
that's true. Yeah, because you do need to show that you like are able to drive a car and take it off of a lot.
Yeah. I mean, like you even need like pay stubs and stuff. I'm like, okay, kid, do you like work? Like have a legit job? I don't know. It was wild, but that
Yeah.
was not the point of this whole storyline. He was there basically because, after he got arrested, he told Selena and Lucy about Wilcox, who gave him the Bitcoin, and so they call Nolan and, let him know. So
Well,
then we see Jenny and Tim on FaceTime, and she apologizes, telling Tim that, she couldn't handle her constant judgment of her parenting and thought sending her to Tim would be the solution. And she's like, plus it's been a while since you've seen her. And he's like, they're boundaries that I've set. And she's like, no, it's a barbed wire fence in front of landmines, in front of a moat. And he's like, he tells her that, when she told their mom about her divorce, Mama Bradford couldn't get out of bed for a week. And there have been a lot of upsetting things in his life that she just doesn't need to know about. And Jenny reminds him, though, she's like, a lot of good things have happened too, like alluding to Lucy. And so Mama Bradford calls. And Tim's stressed once again. It's like immediately when his mom comes around or is mentioned, he is automatically stressed. Like something that's a trigger for him. So he doesn't have time for this. She's cleaning up, doing some laundry, and she was like, I had a quick question. I couldn't help but notice the girl that you're seeing, Linda, and he quickly corrects her to Lucy. Okay, you've already been told her name once. You
Yeah.
obviously don't know her. Why are you still getting her name wrong? And also, how dare you? Because that is Miss Lucy Chen. Like,
Yeah.
don't get her name wrong, you know?
Yeah.
She asks if Lucy lives there, and she's like, "Oh, so it's pretty serious then." She wonders why he didn't tell her, and he starts to stumble and look around, and then he's like, "I gotta go. I gotta go." So
Yeah.
this man just avoids any kind of conflict, truly. Yeah. So Selena and Lucy are turning in their equipment, talking about Geraldine's personality, filters, and restraints. And Lucy says that the restraints are drive-by or are driven by a sense of fear and failure. And then says maybe the world would be a better place if more of us stood up and spoke out. And so Selena's like, it reminds her all about all the Tim stuff. And, she's like, his mom is in our house. Our house. Our house. I mean,
Yep.
granted, she's lived there since 801, right? It's been presumably like 8 weeks in my mind, at least. Like, sure, she can call it that. She's earned the right to call it that. But like, anytime that she says that or like it's kind of alluded to that, I'm so giddy because I'm like, oh, it's their house.
Yeah. It's just fun that it's um canon. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
we get to experience that domestic
yeah,
Chenford.
yeah. So Lucy's like, I'll let Tim handle it. She then gets home before Tim, and Mom Bradford, who we find out his name is Joy, is making dinner, asking if that's Timmy. The nickname that she called him was hilarious. I know that it's like like a proper nickname, but it was just like we've heard Angela say Timothy. Never
Yeah.
Timothy. Never Timmy. I need Angela to like slip up and call him Timmy once, or even Lucy, and just like that be spread out through the station. Because I know Smitty would
Oh
get on
God.
board with that too, for sure.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh.
So. So Joy's like, I'm glad that it's just the two of us so we can talk. And, she apologizes to Lucy for the morning. And Lucy's like, no, that was 100% Tim's fault. But Joy knows that it wasn't. She mentions his dad, and Joy was like, it was even worse for Tim. She gives some backstory on Tim, saying that, even as a child, he was a protector. And sometimes Tim would jump in and force his father to take all the anger towards him. And more often than not, Joy would let him. And Lucy's like, that wasn't your fault. You were being abused. You were terrified. And Joy's like, no, but I should have been the protector. And that's why he doesn't tell me things because he doesn't think I can handle it. Um, and that I don't want the drama. And so she tells Lucy that she just wants to know her son so badly and know what's going on with him. And Lucy tells her that it's possible to have that relationship with him. She just needs to tell him how she feels. And so he then walks in, and Lucy goes to change, and Tim and Joy have this moment to talk. Like, we don't see anything, which I would have loved to see even just like a minute of it. Like, just to kind of clear the air. But that's where we leave off with the whole Tim and Lucy, um,
Mhm.
which I was scrolling Instagram a minute or two ago and saw that there is a sneak peek out for the next episode already. And it's Chenford. So I'm assuming that they're kind of talking about his mom. I don't know. But I'm like, wait, so we went from getting
Oh.
all of the rookie content for 808 yesterday, Monday, right before it aired, to now like we're getting the sneak peek for 809 like a week out.
Like on the official account?
Yeah,
That's
it was on
wild.
Instagram. I saw the
Oh my
rookie
God.
BTS account posted it. So I'm assuming
Oh.
that it's like from like Us Weekly or something. I don't know. Let me find it
Oh,
again.
well, it might be, yeah, it's probably from some other article then.
because I thought it was from last night, and I was like, wait a minute, we didn't see this. I'm like, oh no, 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 this is new. Yeah, Access Daily. It was like on the news tonight. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
okay, cool. So I will be
mm,
watching that after after we stop recording. Um, so yeah, so that's where we leave off with Chenford, which I loved the angst for them. I I appreciated it because I feel like we've had a lot of happy moments for them, which is good, but also like it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. Like there needs to be some kind of angst. So,
mhm.
yeah. So then we will finish out with Nyla and the IA hearing and everything. So Lopez is waiting for Nyla at the elevator. I love how they don't even like let her get out of the elevator before they're like hounding her with questions.
Yeah.
And they're wondering how it went. And I was like, I don't know anything yet, but the hearing was serious, and I feel like the punishment will be too. So Wesley mentions again how sorry he is that he had to report her. He's like a sad little puppy dog. And she's like, I'm fine. Like, I screwed up. It's on me. And Angela tells Nyla that she's the perfect activity that could distract her. And as Nyla starts to argue, Wesley chimes in, runs in front of them, and is like, oh, it's about Oscar. He escaped again, and you guys have to go pick him up. So we find out that Angela was supposed to say that, but Wesley's like, I needed the win. And I loved how Angela was like, okay, I'll allow that, but only because you were stabbed by Oscar. Dang. Like even Wesley was like, oh shit. Yeah. Like he was trying to like process it. Um, so Nyla's on board to take the worst person in the world back to prison. So we see them packing up the shop, and Angela mentions that Oscar going back to prison calls for champagne, but Nyla's like, no, it calls for fireworks and marching bands. I love this moment with them. Was so happy that our cop moms were back together in this episode because like next week they're not gonna be,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I'm sure that we'll still see like, snippets of them together though, because how could
Hmm.
we not? So as they're turning in their equipment for the day and can't believe that Oscar got away again, Gray calls
Oh.
Nyla over and Harpez looks at each other, knowing this is about the IA hearing. And he's just going somewhere private to talk, but Nyla's like, no, just rip the band-aid off. Like, I just wanna know right now. Here now. So she questions if she's out, and he's like, no, but you've been removed from the detective bureau, which obviously Angela and Nyla are gutted to hear. Um, she'll be back on patrol duty, and Angela asks for how long, and Gray's like, just until further notice. So Nyla can't believe it. She's asking if it's a demotion, and he's like, no, you'll just be back in uniform. But, this is a test. Like, keep your head down, way down. Don't give them the opportunity to kick you off the force for good. And as Gray leaves, Angela reminds her that she'll get through this and, she'll help her. Um, and Nyla, I love that Nyla was like, will you get back in uniform? And it's an immediate no for Angela. She's like, that I will
Mhm.
not do. Which it's gonna be so weird, I feel like, to see Angela as like the only like plainclothes detective because we've been so used to seeing Nyla and Angela together.
Mhm.
But I'm sure that Angela she'll still be working with everyone.
Yeah.
So Angela suggests going to the fanciest restaurant in town to drown their sorrows while the husbands watch the kids. And that's where we leave it off with Harpez. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. But this episode was really good. It was chaotic, but it reminded me of like the old seasons of The Rookie. Just like a lot
Hmm.
going on, a lot of action,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
all the callbacks.
Yeah.
So,
It was good.
yeah.
So with that, you guys can find us on Twitter at the Shop Talk Pod underscore or email us at Shop Talk the Rookie Podcast at gmail.com with all of your thoughts. We are also individually on Twitter as well. I'm at Kari Hyman.
And I'm at JStark804.
We are on TikTok at the Shop Talk Podcast underscore. And we have merch at shop-talk.dashery.com. So you guys can check those out too. And next week we'll be back covering 809. So we'll talk to you guys then.
Mhm. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Go get 'em, boo.